Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 15 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 15-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 10 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 10-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 5 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 5-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 2 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 2-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 1 minute from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 1-minute time check, stations.
On the Bobcat Sports Network from Learfield, this is Cat Chat with head football coach Brent Vigen. Brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings, the official home of Cat Chat, every Wednesday night at 6:30. Now, here's your host, the voice of the Bobcats, Keaton Gillogly.
All right. Hello, and welcome live to Buffalo Wild Wings. My name is Keaton Gillogly. Pleasure to be with you all today. Everybody can hear us in the house okay? We're all good? Sounding good? All right. Like to see it as we get set for a big one this weekend. It's Week 12. Bobcats coming off a win against Sacramento State this last week. We're going to talk about that. Our player guests today, we've got Titan Flashman here. Titan Flashman, part of the Don Joy Mafia that moved those guys around for 500 rushing yards last week. And then we've got cornerback Simeon Woodard joining us today as well, coming off his first career sack coming in the game against Sacramento State. Again, I'm Keaton Gillogly, and we get to say hello to head coach Brent Vigen. Coach, how we doing? How we feeling?
Doing well, yeah. Excited for this opportunity this weekend. To this point, had a good week of practice, and looking forward to go to California and play as good a football as we possibly can.
Yeah, I've said it on the air many times, after a lot of the great moments and a lot of the great wins, no hardware was going to be handed out at those moments, but there will be hardware on the line this week at UC Davis. Both teams are 6-0, so the winner will earn at least a share of the Big Sky Championship this Saturday against UC Davis, and they are going all out to try to make that a phenomenal atmosphere, and I'm sure plenty of Bobcat fans are making the trip out there. Anybody here in the house going over to NorCal by a round of applause? I see a tip of the cap. So, yeah, we got a couple people coming out to that game, so I'm sure we'll see plenty of Bobcat fans over in at Davis. All right, Coach, well, let's talk about this week. Nice win against Sacramento State. You guys are off to a great start, and 511 yards of rushing in this ball game, just the second time ever in program history to go over 500 rushing yards in a single game. And we're going to talk to Titan, but, boy, it was a lot of fun watching that offensive line go to work this week.
Yeah, it seems like that's been a constant for us, fortunately. That group's played really well, really has played tremendously hard, and they come off the ball so well. They play in unison so well together, too, and that's critical. They're always, dang near always on the same page, and that's where it starts. They open up, big holes for the running backs. Running backs have been seeing it really well throughout the course of the year, and I know we got Tommy loose a couple times. We got Ty loose on the big run. So, credit goes to that O-line first and foremost, but then, I think our entire offense owns that running game, and the coaches just certainly do as well. So, anytime you can do that, that's a pretty good day. Yeah,
for Tommy, he got loose for 4 carries and 2 touchdowns, so 50% of his carries ended up in touchdowns. The 7 rushing touchdowns was a career mark, or a program mark, most rushing touchdowns in a game. 6 rushing touchdowns had happened 7 different times, so this was the first time for 7 rushing touchdowns in this game. Again, just the second time over 500 rushing yards in a single game. And for Julius Davis, working his way back, he had the most carries on the team. Looked like he was able to get in a little bit more of a rhythm in his second game returning.
Yeah, that he looked more comfortable. The first game, I think he had 5 carries, 8 plays. This time to get him some more opportunities was important. And I thought he looked beyond comfortable. I think just the way he saw things was cleaner. And to get him in the end zone a couple times was great. So, with those 3 guys in particular now, Scotty, Adam, and Julius, and our ability to move them in and out and really play to their strengths, we couldn't be more pleased with where we're at that running back position right now.
Scott Trey Humphrey got another touchdown in this game. Adam Jones went off. He was quite efficient in this game as well with 5 carries, 149 yards, and was averaging over 30 yards per carry. Would have had a few more if he didn't get tracked down there at the end, but that was fun to watch Adam Jones bolster that resume.
Yeah, Adam's back to full health. I know he had a couple of weeks where he was slowed up, missed the one game. But he's had a phenomenal freshman year here, and you look at both he and Scotty, both second-year guys, to the production we're getting out of them as such young players and how they complement one another. I think it's a group that the competition for those carries is certainly there, but I think their love and support for one another is there too. So they want the group to be successful, and who's ever out there to gain whatever they can. I know Scott Trey and Adam both got tripped up, so another guy got the touchdown. Love to be able to finish those runs off. I know Adam ultimately got another opportunity and finished a long one out. But, yeah, again, that group can't say enough about how well they've done this year.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. Also, Ty Okada was back this week, roaming the sidelines. Fun to see him as the Seattle Seahawks had a bye week. But sounded like Ty had a chance to talk to the team a little bit. What was his message?
Yeah, he came out, and I think it was pretty simple. Ty can be a talker, and I said, we got another presenter up in the team room. You got a few minutes here, and I think it was just go out there and play. For your brothers. I mean, that's really what it was more than anything. I think he wanted to just say, hey, football doesn't change. He's in the NFL now. You got to love the game. You got to love who you're playing with and really play with emotion. And that's the type of player that Ty was. So I think it was great for our guys to see that. Anytime these guys are in the NFL, they have a bye week and they choose to come back to Bozeman, that's a pretty big deal. They could probably be a lot of places, and this is where they want to be. Ty's a couple years removed, so he's played with a lot of these guys. But, I think continues to be an inspiration to, young and old on our roster of what you can do if you really put your mind to it.
Yeah, and we had Ty on during the broadcast between the first and second quarters, too. And, yeah, he talked about just the guys that were before him and talked about Daniel Hardy and Lewis Kidd and watching how much work they put in. And it is. I mean, you got to feel like right now you kind of got it rolling from generation to generation and letting the players lead this thing.
Yeah, you want it to be cyclical. You don't want it to be about one group or one player. The young guys need to learn from the old guys, and the old guys will eventually move on, and those young guys will become old guys, and you'll bring new young guys in. That's really the nature of it. And, if you have guys that are committed to from the time they become this, let's say, old guy, they're willing to pour back into young guys. I think that's the key. This generation, I think, is a little bit more realistic than it was. I know when I was a college player, and within those position groups, it's so critical that our veterans, really, beyond giving the young guys the time of day, they pour into them, and that's on the practice field, that's in the meeting room, that's making them feel welcome, that's pushing them, it's all those things. So, we've been real fortunate in that regard, and, we're going to lose some very valuable seniors here in due time, but feel good about, the mark they've left and the guys coming behind them.
Yeah, talking to Simeon Woodard later today, he's one of the older guys. Titan Flashman's probably in that transitional period and will be back as he's getting some of his first regular run. But another guy who's in that transitional period is Hunter Parsons, who got the start for the injured Brody Grebe, who should be good to go this week. But had to be nice to see Hunter Parsons kind of step into that role and led the team in tackles this week. Yeah,
Hunter's played real well, and he's earned that right to be on the field more and more this year. He played a little bit last year, some games more than others, but he's had a significant role this year. And to be able to, allow us comfortably, I suppose, to sit Brody down because that was best for Brody in the short term, and say, okay, Hunter's going to go out there and do a good job. That's how our staff felt, and certainly Hunter made the most of that opportunity.
Yeah, so good for Hunter. Good to see that kind of depth and good prognosis there for Brody as well. All right, one of the things when I've talked to Simeon in the past when we had him on the TV show was he was talking about Texas high school football. One thing I'm curious about as, somebody who's watched a lot of high school football across the country, do you see different styles around the country? I mean, do you notice different things when you look at a Texas player versus a California player versus somebody maybe from the East Coast?
I think there's a couple things. I do think, generally speaking, the Texas player is probably more developed, and not necessarily developed physically, but just developed with a football mind. I've been down there in January, and they're in full practice, and they have athletic period every day. So if you're just a football player, you're getting football every school day of the year. Wow. I mean, that's no joke. If you're a basketball player, they probably want you, for that athletic period in the football side of things. So I think there's just the ins and outs of football. I think in Texas are probably as great as any place in the country. On the flip side, I do think the climates dictate style of play different from north to south. Certainly, I think passing certainly has become a bigger part of, I think, all the game up and down. And I think there's some particular colleges that drove that. Style of play. Thinking back to the Baylor going back a decade ago, I think they really drove fast tempo and those type of things into the high school game, so more spread it out. I mean, I think so. Sometimes it takes a while for those trends to go, and I think college has gone up toward the NFL to some degree, and it certainly has gone down. And it's harder to do that in places like we're in part because of the climate, but then in part you don't have spring ball, you don't have that January all of a sudden athletic period where you're practicing football as well. So yeah, there is something to, I think, Texas football being different. It doesn't necessarily mean it's better, but I'm sure a guy like Simeon would say it is.
Yeah, no, I think that's fascinating because, they're just, you have different styles, and it's interesting, too, on a national scale when you are recruiting players, what's available and what's not. I imagine, when a lot of teams are focused on the pass game, well, a lot of those quarterbacks are going to be recruited a little more heavily.
Yeah, and you got to take all that in consideration because – whether it's a kid playing six-man here in Montana or the highest level in Texas or everything in between, it still comes down to whether we think that individual can translate and what capacity does he have to develop. Speaking of quarterbacks, I think so many quarterbacks are groomed so early in the 7-on-7 presence in so many of those warmer climate states. I don't know if that's always a positive for quarterbacks because 7-on-7 is not football. 7-on-7 is 7-on-7. You get some really bad habits, I think, just if that's all you're doing. So you take the good with the bad. You try to cut through it the best that you can. Ultimately, for us, we need to try to see, okay, is there something there for sure, but what can that young man become?
Yeah.
And that's, you're not always comparing apples to apples when you're talking about competition, coaching, whatever.
Yeah, it kind of makes me think of like some baseball scouting. They'll look at some younger guys and they'll look at somebody and they'll say that's their carrying tool, right? If they've got elite power, that's their carrying tool. We'll see if we can kind of get around that. So when you're looking at some of these maybe unrefined products from some of the smaller spots, you're looking at, hey, that's the carrying tool or piece of what they can be, and then we'll see what we can build around it.
Yeah, I mean, we'd call it an elite trait, I suppose. Yeah. I mean, same difference. Whether that's size, speed, arm strength in a quarterback, you name it. I think, I think you're trying to see, okay, does this kid have something elite now? For us, they're probably going to be missing something, and sometimes that just means they played 3 sports. They hadn't focused primarily on football, they late bloomer, whatever. I think there always should be maybe a story to all the guys we're recruiting. I really, truly believe that. If a guy's all polished up and he's ready to go for us, what's wrong with him on that? I think is that what he's always going to be? So recruiting is really tricky, and it's something that we're after on a daily basis. And signing dates now 3 weeks from today. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Right around the corner.
Yeah, well, cool. It'll be the culmination of another story for a lot of these guys and the start for the next class right after that, I'm sure, as well. All right, we're going to take a break. We got plenty more to get to. We'll talk about this UC Davis game coming up on Saturday. We've got Simeon Woodard and Titan Flashman joining us a little bit later. But first, we're taking a break from Buffalo Wild Wings. This is Cat Chat presented by Learfield.
The roar of the crowd, the thunder of thousands of fans stomping their feet as the Bobcats take the field. For Mary, her chronic hip pain kept her from the thrill of her favorite pastime. Thanks to the revolutionary orthopedic care from Bozeman's local orthopedic groups and the Bozeman Health Spine and Joint Institute, Mary was back on her feet and back in the game. If chronic spine and joint pain is keeping you from the activities you love, start your journey by visiting bozemanhealth.org/SJI.
Bobcat fans, support both your favorite team and Montana State students. When you shop at MSU bookstores, you help lower the price of course materials for Montana State students. MSU Bookstore is owned by MSU students and faculty and serves as the only not-for-profit campus bookstore in Montana. Shop online at msubookstore.org, at Bobcat Stadium on game days, or on campus in the Strand Union Building. Remember, Bobcat fans, when you shop at MSU Bookstore, all proceeds from your purchase go directly to lowering the cost of course materials for Montana State students.
Hey, Bobcat fans, want to make a real difference in the lives of Montana State student athletes? The Bobcat Collective is your chance to do just that. By joining as a member or becoming a business partner, you're directly supporting our athletes through NIL opportunities, helping them succeed both on and off the field. Whether you're an individual looking to become a member or a business ready to partner with us, every contribution empowers our Bobcats to reach their full potential. Visit BobcatCollective.com to learn more and sign up today. Together, we can elevate our athletes and the entire Bobcat community. Go Cats, go!
Hitting the road? When you download the Fuel Forward app, you save up to 20 cents per gallon on your first fill-up at Phillips 66, Conoco, and 76 stations. Because that's what the app does. A simple, straightforward way to keep you moving forward. Fuel Forward. 20 cents is a combined savings of 5 cents every day off per gallon plus an extra 15 cents off per gallon for first-time users up to 30 gallons. Offer valid once for new Fuel Forward app users through 12/31/2024. Participating locations only.
The air was thick with desire as he said those 23 magic words every woman longs to hear. Buffalo Wild Wings Go will give you 10 free boneless wings when you spend $15 or more and use promo code GOBONELESS. Say it again, she begged. He indulged. Buffalo Wild Wings Go will give... Okay, I need a break. This novel's got me sweating and hungry. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
At participating locations for a limited time only when you order in the BWW web or app.
When I was using, I spent half my time worried about running out of pills and the other half hiding my addiction, hiding from judgment, hiding from everything. I OD'd right there. My pills were laced with fentanyl. Narcan and my son saved my life. He found me and called 911. After that, I got treatment.
Learn more at helpsavelivemt.org. A message from Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services.
We are back live at Buffalo Wild Wings for Cat Chat, the official radio show of head coach Brent Vigen and Bobcat Athletics over wings and beer every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. only at Buffalo Wild Wings. All right, in a bit, we're talking to Simeon Woodard and Titan Flashman, who just got here. What's up, fellas? We got a table right over here for you. We'll take care of some wings. We'll get you some food. So we're going to have them coming up here in just a bit. But talking with Coach Vigen here, coming off the win against Sac State. UC Davis coming up next. Coach, one of the topics that has come up a lot from hearing your players talk is the communication on the sidelines. We've talked about it a little bit. But I think one thing that just stands out is how much the players feel like they're heard about what they're seeing on the field when you're going through that. How do you feel like the communication is on the sideline right now between the coaches and the players?
Well, I think it's really good, and I know we've talked about just the tablets. I think that clarity that has come out of having the tablets on the sideline in 9 of our 10 games, I guess, I think that's part of it. You know, there's no guesswork anymore once you get over there, and there's accountability, from the players. There's accountability from the coaches. I think that becomes just apparent. You know, the tape doesn't lie. I guess that's an old saying in coaching. So I think that's a part of it. But I think there's a really open back and forth relationship between our players and our coaches. Coaches are looking for feedback. You know, even if it's if it's a suggestion of how you would prefer to do something at times, and that's a real general statement. But I think getting into your players' mind and how they see things and what they feel really confident in is important. And sometimes that happens in the heat of the battle, on those sideline discussions.
Yeah. Is that something you cultivated in your coaches or kind of cultivated in the locker room, or have you kind of hired coaches that already have a proclivity to that?
Wow. What word is that right there? No, I think, you want coaches that can grow with the players, that can, are going to be able to communicate, that are going to care for their players first and foremost. I think that goes without saying. You better be a coach that is going to advocate for his players, is going to, there's tough love involved, all that stuff, but it's not going to be just about the Saturday afternoons, evenings. It's going to be about how they're doing in school, how their family's doing, all those things. So you build that trust in that relationship. And, yes, in the hiring process, you're trying to, in a short time, figure that part out.
Yeah. Is this a team that has more communication than some of the other teams you've had? I mean, is this a high thing, or is this just something we've kind of heard a little bit from some of the players?
Well, I think again, I'd say just the nature of what we have at, the tablet piece is a big part of it. I think before it might have been more of a one-sided conversation from time to time based on whoever saw whatever.
Yeah, right.
Because it's generally you're talking coaches in the press box and coaches on the sideline, so that might be a 2-to-1 conversation sometimes.
Yeah.
So. No, I think we've had, coaches that can communicate with their players, that care for their players, that have that trusting relationship. I know we've had to, continue to see our coaching staff evolve and our players have evolved. I know right now we have several coaches that have been, with me 4 years now. I mean, it's not this, revolving door exactly, but we've had to make some hires here and there, and I think we've replaced guys with, good guys that want what's best for this program and want what's best for those players.
Yeah, cool. Now that's good insight. It's just been something that I feel like a lot of players have brought up when they've talked about a lot of the big plays. The Eastern Washington one is that stands out. Ty McCullough talked about saying, hey, I think we can get this guy in this moment, and then they ended up having a big play later after that. So just kind of one of those things that stood out lately.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to ask you about a little bit is the defense. Obviously the numbers have been great. We've talked about all of that. But one thing that has stood out to me these last 2 weeks is against Eastern and even early in the Sac State game is there's been no panic after giving up maybe a big play or a first down. Is that something you're seeing?
Yeah, absolutely. That's critical. I think defensive football, you got to understand the offense is going to make some plays. And teams that throw the ball are going to complete the ball.
Yeah.
And sometimes, it's going to be for a first down. And that's just the way it goes. And ultimately what we don't want to have are the breakdowns where, a 15-yard completions turned into a 60-yard touchdown because we didn't take a good angle or we weren't in the right spot. I think we've done a really good job, by and large, of eliminating those types of plays. And even we didn't have a lot of bad plays defensively in that game the other day, but we had one where John Johnson missed a tackle, Drew took a poor angle, but then Rylan Ort was running like crazy and limited. It was a 20-yard gain or something like that, so it didn't break us by any means. Was a first down, but okay, it's back to 1st and 10. Anytime as you look at it that way, we're back to 1st and 10, we're back to square one. Let's try to get them second along. I really think our guys are thinking that way. And, I think Coach Daly has done a good job of speaking that language in the moment. I will give Bobby real credit in that, so that ability to be calm and not panic, defensively does start with his leadership. And I appreciated that. And I think our guys really responded.
Yeah, that's going to be a big topic this weekend against UC Davis. This is incredible offense we're about to see with the Aggies, and I have no doubt they're going to get some big plays in this game.
Yeah, big, just define big, right? That's the whole thing. I think with Larison, their receivers, their quarterback, the quality of player he is, and even how, I guess diverse their offense is, yes, they're going to do some things. And ideally, we're not missing very many tackles. We're not missing very many fits. We're making it hard for them. I think that's the whole thing. Ideally, you make it really hard on an offense to move down the field, and ultimately they're going to break. I think that's just defensive football. It's not completely about just putting three and outs and zeros up all the time. It's about making them go the long, hard way, and we've done that by and large, and we need to do that on Saturday, knowing that they're going to get some first downs, they're going to get some yards, but ultimately they can't get touchdowns, they can't get points on the board, and I think our guys will be after that mark and go after it the best they can.
Well, looking forward to seeing how that all plays out, and the guy who's going to be a part of that is Simeon Woodard, who we're going to talk to coming up next live from Buffalo Wild Wings. So we're taking a break. This is Cat Chat, presented by Learfield.
Ready to build your brand? Think Inc. outside the box for your complete branding solutions. Located in Bozeman, Montana, we offer a full print shop for banners, signs, wraps, trade show booths and graphics, promotional products, and much more. If you can think it, we can ink it. We are a proud supporter and corporate sponsor of the MSU Bobcats. Like us on Facebook to see some of our cat wraps. Ready to build your brand? Think Inc. and call us at 406-922-6462 or visit us on the web at inkoutside.com.
Town & Country Foods is a proud supporter of Bobcat Athletics. As a locally owned company, we believe the benefit of buying local helps support the local economies in southwest Montana. Our stores offer great selections of items you need every day, including organics, specialty foods, fresh meats and produce, along with incredible selections from our bakery and deli departments. Town & Country Foods is 100% employee-owned and serves southwest Montana with 8 locations. Visit your local Town & Country Foods today. Go Cats!
Hi, former Bobcat Big Lou Salcedo from Wrestler Chevrolet here. Our team proudly supports MSU football both on the field and on the road. Serving the Bobcat community since 1999, we've got what you need. from the powerful heavy-duty Silverado to the top-of-the-line high country Suburban. Visit our showroom or check us out online at WrestlerChevy.com. Together, let's drive a Wrestler Chevrolet. Community born, community driven. We'll meet you at the tailgate.
Revelry is your neighborhood eatery, here to serve a wholesome and savory palate that celebrates Montana roots with fresh, locally sourced ingredients. We revel in a natural and energetic habitat that livens any day. We serve Bozeman's best pizzas, sandwiches, pastas, and salads in a comfortable environment with 2 amazing patios. We love hosting Bobcats old and new. Check us out at 24 North Tracy or online at revelrymt.com. Go Cats, go!
Ambient Air Solutions wants to take a moment to show our gratitude and to say thank you. Thank you to our frontline workers. Thank you to our doctors, nurses, and EMTs. Thank you to all the volunteers. And thank you to the Gallatin County community. Ambient Air Solutions is so grateful for your support for over 12 years. We are so blessed to live in such a beautiful place. Ambient Air Solutions is here for all your heating and cooling needs. Call us at 406-577-1818 to schedule your service today. Ambient Air Solutions, simplifying heating and cooling.
When a power line has fallen down, it can be downright dangerous and even deadly. That's because downed lines can still energize the ground and objects around them. To help keep you and others safe, Northwestern Energy says stay at least 35 feet or the length of a semi-truck away from a downed power line and anything the line is touching. You should always assume the line is live, and if you see a downed line, immediately call 911 and warn others. Northwestern Energy, delivering a bright future.
We are back live at Buffalo Wild Wings for Cat Chat. All right, before we talk with Simeon Woodard, we got to pause 10 seconds for our network station identification. This is Cat Chat.
XL Country, 100.7, KXLB Churchill, Bozeman, Belgrade. Also in Livingston on translator K254AL.
All right, again, I'm Keaton Gillogly alongside senior cornerback Simeon Woodard as we get set for a UC Davis game that will have a trophy handed out afterwards and coming off the Sacramento State game. But, Simeon, how we doing, man?
Pretty good, pretty good. Appreciate you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to have you along and hanging out today. How you feeling? I mean, fourth-year senior, week 12. How's the body? How's the mind?
Yeah, I feel pretty good right now. Confident. The team's doing pretty good, so I think everything's going smooth right now. That's all I can ask for.
Yeah. That's it's been pretty fun to watch and see how it's all played out to this point. Heck of a game this week against Sacramento State. And you got your first career sack.
Man, I appreciate that. It was honestly, I think a sack might be up there with the interception now. Is one of my favorite plays. Sack is pretty cool, especially being a corner. A sack is pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember last year when we talked. Drew Powdor was close to his first career sack. He got his first career interception.
Yeah, he did. He did.
But he doesn't have his first career sack yet.
It's coming. It's coming.
Okay. Was he a little jealous?
He said. I don't want to expose too much of our defense.
Okay, no, yeah, you don't have to do that.
But he wanted to get a sack on that play. I'll put it like that.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
we don't. It's too late in the season to be putting X's and O's up on the board.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, good. But no, it's exciting, man. And I mean, just watching you after the play, I know for a lot of Bobcat fans too, watching the joy that you play with, your teammates play with. I mean, you looked like you got shot like just cattle prod. You were jacked up, man. That had to be a sweet moment.
Yeah, I kind of blacked out there. I kind of forgot, Didn't see any of my teammates. My peripherals just kind of started closing in even more. But, yeah, I was super excited just to, get the opportunity and, ultimately make the play. Super exciting, yeah.
Yeah, well, hey, you didn't see your teammates because you were the first one back there, and then you just started walking away.
Started walking away from everybody, I know.
Yeah, no, it was cool, man. And, you're 47 games into your career through 4 years. Yeah, pretty impressive.
Crazy.
You're over 100 tackles in your career.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Does it feel like it's been 4 years, or have you just been really locked into your moments?
A lot of, it's common. The common term is time flies, of course. Yeah. But I look back in the past 4 years, each year has been, unique in its own way. In ways that I can appreciate, ways that I wish I could have changed some things, ways that I was, glad that how things went. But I think, ultimately, I think it's been a great 4 years. I think it's been exactly how much time I needed, and I'm finishing it out with a good season so far this year. So, I'm just cherishing this year as it is right now. And, I'll definitely look back and appreciate all the past years once that time comes.
Yeah. When you do take that moment to look around and cherish the moments, around Bobcat Stadium or at any point, what are you noticing? What are you thinking about? What are you feeling? What are you seeing in those moments?
It started off, freshman year, I'm looking around at the crowd like, man, this is crazy. 20K plus people, cheering for us, on our side. And, although I still have those same thoughts 4 years in, now I'm kind of looking, shoulder to shoulder, looking at my brothers that I'm playing with, as this chapter comes to a close, just kind of appreciating them a little more than, I have in the past. So I think that's the main thing, is just understanding like how strong, these relationships have been throughout this process.
Yeah, well, and a lot of those relationships are with some Texas guys. Texas, and Texas defensive backs, the blue and gold, man. It's all about it. Andrew Powdrell, he set the tone this week. The second snap, TFL, he was electrocuted.
Exactly.
Had to be fun watching him make that play.
Oh, yeah, and just Andrew's growth, just from year one. Year one was obviously crazy for him.
Yeah.
He did what he was supposed to do. Obviously, he's a great player, but, seeing him jump out even more in year two is so exciting to see. And then I know year 3, year 4 are going to be even crazier. So, and then obviously, hopefully after that, he can get to the NFL. That's what I see. I always tell him he's going to the league. But Andrew's a great player for us. Obviously, Texas boy. I'm a Texas boy. I think it runs in the blood.
Oh,
something.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah, and then obviously we have other Texas guys on the team. Jace, upcoming freshman.
Yeah, Jace
McMillan. We have Corey Boyd as well. So. Yep. We have a few Texas cats, that I think are going to end up making their mark here.
Yeah, absolutely. And Drew Polidor will be back again next year, so he'll be able to set the tone. He's a Legion of Boom all in his own right.
Oh yeah, no, Drew plays with a different level of intensity. I want to say, if I'm ever on the sideline and I have the opportunity to watch him, it's just crazy how fast he plays.
Yeah,
like he comes downhill, he runs the alley. There's no hesitation. He definitely has a different mode that he brings with him when he gets on the field.
Yeah, and there's a difference between being fast and playing fast, right?
Yeah, definitely. Playing fast, you have to obviously have the athleticism to move around fast, but when you also can know the playbook inside out, know your checks inside out, know the other team's tendencies, it allows you just to move that much faster, just to be that much smarter. So on top of your athleticism, you're able to, get to your gap faster, break on a route faster, or the game is just a big puzzle piece, and if you're able to just put the puzzles together as fast as you can, I feel like that's the goal whenever you're trying to make a play out there.
Yeah. One of the ways to put those puzzle pieces together is through the communication, which we talked with Coach Vigen about a little bit earlier, but I've heard it from a lot of guys. And, John Johnson said something after the game this last week. He talked about how you guys have improved. And he said, when you guys make a mistake, when somebody makes a mistake, defensive coordinator Bobby Daly will say, hey, look, that was a mistake. We're going to watch film. We're going to fix it. It does seem like there's just great communication between when there's a mistake and it's a solution-oriented situation. What are you seeing in your communication with your coaches right now?
Yeah, I think first of all it's great just that we have that in our team. There's never any panic going on, so we could give up maybe an explosive play and try to line it back up, and if they happen to score a touchdown, which we would never want, we get to the sideline and there's never any arguing or bickering. There's more of like, okay, where did we go wrong? How can we move forward from this? So for the next drive in the next quarter, whenever we get back on the field, we're able to fix it, and there's never any holes getting poked in the ship. We just close the hole and just keep it pushing.
Yeah, there's always going to be a hole somewhere. Nobody goes a shutout throughout the season, so I feel like those skills are really important, especially walking into this environment this weekend.
Exactly.
All right, so you're 4 years, senior. You're getting ready to wrap it up. How's class? Where's your degree at right now?
Yeah, so I'm majoring in finance. I started out undecided freshman year, kind of just seeing what I wanted to do as an 18-year-old college student.
Yep.
I actually found my love in finance through reading books.
Okay.
So I started reading some books, and I was pretty intrigued the way finance goes, and just just money management, just whether it's with yourself or within a company. So I decided I might as well, try to pursue this and, be able to learn more with the opportunity that Montana State gave me with my education and major in finance. And so far, I'm doing pretty good. I have, I think, like a 3.0, nothing insane, nothing 4.0 like Tommy Malott or somebody.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm getting the job done right now, and I'm proud of myself. I'm in my last stretch right now, and I just want to, keep pushing and keep trying to take it home and get this degree. That was my main goal coming to college.
Yeah, that's a cool thing. I'm somebody also who went to college and didn't exactly know what I wanted to do and had to really find it, and eventually I did. But it's interesting to hear that strategy for you, reading books. What kind of books were you reading? Like, was there a topic that you were just researching, or did you just cast a wide net and see what stuck?
Yeah, I guess the first book I read was Atomic Habits. Okay. A lot of people might know about that book. Atomic Habits, just self-help book, kind of just, better yourself. And then after that, I was like, I like this reading stuff. I'm going to try to find another book. And I remember hearing, I was on TikTok one day, and I heard somebody reference Rich Dad, Poor Dad, a finance book, kind of financial freedom type of book. So I picked that up, read it, and then after that, I was, a bunch of money books, finance books from there on out until I kind of got the gist of things, and then I kind of branched off to just different subjects and stuff like that. Not just finance, obviously keeping that in the front end of my mind, but reading just some nonfiction books, maybe some fiction books. Like I don't know, the list goes on, but I kind of found a love in reading, and I think it's kind of. I'll look back and say it probably changed my life, even though it sounds crazy to say right now, but it definitely showed me a different way.
Yeah. Hey, this is the time of your life where your life changes fast. And
absolutely.
You can change your life pretty quickly.
Absolutely.
You reading hard copies or on the Kindle?
I like hard copies.
Same.
Yeah. I like to, feel it, be able to turn a page, have that little motion rather than looking at the screen. I look at the screen all day if I'm on social media, Instagram, TikTok, whatever the case may be. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So you buy a lot of books, you go to the library. What's your play on that?
Amazon always has some, different discounts and stuff. So order a lot off Amazon, or I'll go to the Barnes & Noble bookstore out here in Bozeman and buy a book, look around or something. Yeah.
It's a good way to do it, man.
Exactly.
That's cool. All right, so you've done a lot of studying on that. You'll be moving some finances around. We know you've done a lot of studying on this UC Davis Aggies team. Obviously, phenomenal quarterback. They got a great group of receivers. What are some of the things you guys are going to have to do as you get ready for this offense you're facing this weekend?
I think, well, first of all, they have a great offense, and I mean it's reflected off in their undefeated conference schedule, just like ours. But I think it comes down to us just being disciplined more than ever. We have to have our eyes in the right spots, play with the right leverage, use our hands, our feet, and really watch even more film than before, because they do have a good offense, they have good players, they have a good coaching staff that's also scheming against us. So we're really just gonna have to keep staying in the film room and like I said, just be more disciplined than ever this game. Have our eyes in the right spot. I think that's the main thing.
Yeah, this is going to be a high-level, disciplined football game. 2 veteran quarterbacks, 2 veteran defenses, all for some hardware this weekend. You got to be pumped for it.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. This is the type of games you dream of when you're playing college football. Conference for all the marbles right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All the marbles, going to be a sellout crowd. It's going to be awesome. We'll see which blue and gold comes out on top this weekend.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
All right, Simeon Woodard. We're taking a break. When we come back, we're talking to right tackle Titan Flashman. This is Cat Chat, presented by Learfield.
The air was thick with desire as he said those 23 magic words every woman longs to hear. Buffalo Wild Wings Go will give you 10 free boneless wings when you spend $15 or more and use promo code GOBONELESS. Say it again, she begged. He indulged. Buffalo Wild Wings Go will give... Okay, I need a break. This novel's got me sweating and hungry. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
At participating locations for a limited time only when you order in the BWW web or app.
When I was using, I spent half my time worried about running out of pills and the other half hiding my addiction, hiding from judgment, hiding from everything. I OD'd right there. My pills were laced with fentanyl. Narcan and my son saved my life. He found me and called 911. After that, I got treatment.
Learn more at helpsavelivesmt.org. A message from Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services.
Bobcat fans, support both your favorite team and Montana State students. When you shop at MSU bookstores, you help lower the price of course materials for Montana State students. MSU Bookstore is owned by MSU students and faculty and serves as the only not-for-profit campus bookstore in Montana. Shop online at msubookstore.org, at Bobcat Stadium on game days, or on campus in the Strand Union building. Remember, Bobcat fans, when you shop at MSU Bookstore, all proceeds from your purchase go directly to lowering the cost of course materials for Montana State students.
The roar of the crowd, the thunder of thousands of fans stomping their feet as the Bobcats take the field. For Mary, her chronic hip pain kept her from the thrill of her favorite pastime. Thanks to the revolutionary orthopedic care from Bozeman's local orthopedic groups and the Bozeman Health Spine and Joint Institute, Mary was back on her feet and back in the game. If chronic spine and joint pain is keeping you from the activities you love, start your journey by visiting bozemanhealth.org/SJI.
Hey, Bobcat fans. Want to make a real difference in the lives of Montana State student athletes? The Bobcat Collective is your chance to do just that. By joining as a member or becoming a business partner, you're directly supporting our athletes through NIL opportunities, helping them succeed both on and off the field. Whether you're an individual looking to become a member or a business ready to partner with us, every contribution empowers our Bobcats to reach their full potential. Visit BobcatCollective.com to learn more and sign up today. Together, we can elevate our athletes and the entire Bobcat community. Go Cats, go!
Northern States Fishing Tools, a proud sponsor of the Montana State Bobcats, has been serving the eastern Montana and western North Dakota oil fields since 1978. We are here to provide you with the best tools and services, all at competitive prices. Northern States Fishing Tools services the Williston Basin with fishing and rental tools, along with downhole tools that include packers, plugs, and through tubing equipment. We have the expert knowledge to give you satisfying results based on your specific needs. Go Bobcats!
Preparation is the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Bobcats on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pregame routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Bobcat Pride, powered locally.
We are back live at Buffalo Wild Wings for Cat Chat. This is our penultimate show, so next week is our final show of the year. The Bobcat Insider TV show will keep rolling for the playoffs with our friend Grace Lawrence, who's in the house. But next week will be our last Cat Chat here at B-Dubs. And don't forget, if you're out in listener land or if you're here, we will be giving away the 2 mini helmets that have been signed by every player who has been on the show this year. So a unique two-of-a-kind piece if you want some of the little mini Bobcat helmets that are signed by everybody who has been here. So if you want a chance to win that, you got to come out to Buffalo Wild Wings next week. All right, I'm Keaton Gillogly, joined now by right tackle Titan Flashman. Titan, how we doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for joining us today. How you feeling after moving guys around for 500 yards last week?
I feel great. I remember watching the fellas do that in 22 against Cal Poly, I think. Yep. And so it's fun to be on the field when that happens.
Yeah.
So I was pretty fired up.
Yeah, so the Cal Poly game, that was 549 yards to set the program record. I know I had said 554 on the radio, but that number had actually gotten changed. I saw one number in the game notes, one number somewhere else, whatever. Anyway, 549 is the number for that. And then they had 6 rushing touchdowns that day, but you guys had one better, 7 rushing touchdowns, which was the program record. So
I did not know that.
Well, there you go. That's a feather in your cap if you want to talk to any of those guys.
There we go. I'll take it.
But yeah, man, you mentioned you're a little bit of a gamer with your brothers too?
Yeah, I do play the game every once in a while with my brothers.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's that going? Who's the best out of the group?
Oh, my brother, who's a year younger than me. He plays ball at Air Force Academy. He's the best. Yeah. My little brother, who's a sophomore, he'll tell you he's the best, but that ain't true. I know he's watching right now, and Zen, you are not the best.
What are your guys' go-to games these days?
Right now, we'll play some Apex, a little bit of 4, and then like some like an open world type game that we can all get on and run.
Open world type game? What's that? I have no idea what that is.
Kind of like where you can do whatever you want. There's no
Okay.
like restrictions on the game. You can just go
It's
on.
like a Sims or like a Grand Theft Auto type vibe?
Yeah, exactly like Grand Theft Auto.
Okay, yeah. But you guys can all do that together?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's real fun.
Yeah, that's a good way to interact that. And then you like created an avatar in that?
Yeah, so
Okay.
like Red Dead is Red Dead Redemption
Yep, the
is a
shooter,
game, and
yep.
so that's the one we've been playing right now.
Okay.
And so like we get to make our cowboy and ride around and do our thing. So.
Yeah. Well, you're allowed to make cowboys. You're not a faux cowboy, even in the game if you're from around
Yep,
here.
yep.
All right. Well, you're from Pocatello, and I know you had a lot of injuries through your career, but did have a chance to go back and play in your hometown.
Yeah.
How was that, man?
It was really fun. I played a lot of games in the Dome.
Yeah.
And it was really something special to be able to play youth football, like flag football, high school football, and then even a college game down in the Dome. Like that was, and having my whole family there to be able to watch me play a college game down there, it was really something special for me. So I was fired up about it.
How many people came out to support?
Dude, I have no idea. There was a lot of people from the Fleischmann clan there.
Yeah.
It was fun.
And it was, they made their presence known. What was it like from your perspective here in that crowd?
It was just like how Bobcat fans typically travel. It was a lot of cats there cheering for us. It's hard to distinguish home and away games sometimes when you have that many fans there. So
yeah, hopefully it'll be like that a little bit this week out at Davis. All right, I've heard a lot of your teammates and some of your coaches talk about you a little bit, and you got a lot of respect from your teammates and coaches. Why do you think that is?
Well, I'm flattered that they respect me in that way, but I think it's just because I show up and I do my job. I do what I'm told, and I try and do it as best as I can.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. So it's a lost art sometimes. Just show up and do your job.
Yeah.
Where's that come from for you?
My parents, definitely, and my brother, the one that's a year younger than me, just because, actually all my siblings, I was always kind of like told to be like the guy who sets the path for my siblings.
Yeah.
And so one of the avenues of doing that my parents taught me was to like work hard.
Yeah.
And so they were really reinforcing in that. And then also my basketball coach, he would always say, like, when I really figured it out with sports, is my basketball coach in high school would say it's time to bring your lunch pails and hard hats because we're going to go to work. And that has always like resonated with me.
Yeah.
Like when it's a work day on our Tuesdays or Wednesdays, it's bring your hard hat and lunch pail. It's time to go to work.
Yeah. So, it's a cliche, but it's only a cliche because it's true.
Yeah.
Now, one of the reasons I know other coaches and players have mentioned about their respect for you is what you've gone through injury-wise over these last couple of years. For the people who aren't familiar, what was that timeline for you?
From the beginning?
Yeah, hit me with it.
So right when I got here, I had my shoulders. I had messed up shoulders, and so I had to have both of my labrums reconstructed my first year.
Okay.
Sim will remember this. I was in my gunslinger brace that was out like this for 6 weeks, and then right after I got done with this one, 2 weeks of rehab to where I could like write and do stuff, and then I went into this one.
Right.
So
your arm was just out at 90 degrees with a thumb up?
Yeah, pretty much.
Awesome. Sounds like really a lot of fun.
It was really fun. I was water boy on the scout team, so it was ideal because I was like the water was out there.
As long as they didn't snatch it out of your hand too hard.
Yeah, no, I told them not to.
Yeah,
I told them to take it easy on me. And then after that, my second year, I dislocated my right patellar, my right kneecap, and then the following year, they had to go back in and refix it because I like re-injured something in there.
Yeah.
So
that's a lot, man.
It was a lot.
And that was what, 2-3 years worth of time?
Yeah.
What was it like? I mean, did you have a lot of low moments in that time while you were going through this rehab?
Oh yeah. I mean, like watching them rush for 500 yards without me. That's 550 yards, I believe, is what you said.
549.
Yeah. That was watching that. I was happy for my guys, but at the same time, I was like, dang, like I'm not out there, you know. And then, just like constantly like getting injured, having to go through the rehab process, and then being in the mix in every fall camp, and then getting hurt again is just like builds you up and tears you down. And so like getting used to that, I kind of got used to that like process almost.
Yeah.
And it was weird, but now I'm all ready to roll.
Yeah. Well, when I talked to Coach Sean Herron, the strength coach, earlier this season. He mentioned how you came in really the same every day to attack your rehab, but I'm sure for you emotionally it wasn't quite like that. How did you gear yourself up saying, okay, look, I feel like trash right now, this stinks, but how did you get your mind right once you walk through those BAC doors to get attack your rehab like that?
There were some days that I struggled to get my mind right for sure, and it's definitely the staff and in the training room and the strength staff and the coaches and the players, all of like everybody at the facility was really great about not not letting you feel like excluded from the team, because when you get hurt and like you don't travel and you're not out there at practice, it's like you kind of almost feel like you're getting pulled away from the team.
Yeah, you feel a little like a ghost.
Yes, but having the guys be there and like still saying, like talking to me like I'm still on the team and doing stuff, and the coaches interacting with me, and then the staff, like the trainer, both PTs, 2 PTs that worked with me, John and Brian, both took good care of me and were good about making sure I was still locked in and working hard.
Yeah,
so.
And now you're locked in and working hard out there now.
Trying to.
Yeah, this team's up to 3,330 rushing yards on the season, which is 4th most in program history. Only that 2022 team rushed for over 4,000 yards in a single season. So opportunity to get there, and part of the reason you guys are having some success up there is the rest of the guys on the offensive line. Nobody's closer to watching the athletic freak of Marcus Weir than you are, who's playing just to your left. What's it like playing next to him?
I said this in an early interview. He's a grumpy old guy, but I love him and I love all of his grumpiness. He's very good about like blocking in and not getting too high and too low, because in the course of a football game you can have momentum swings back and forth, and I'm a very like emotional guy, and so like when stuff's going well for me, I'm really good at like getting hyped up, and then when something bad happens, I like get down on myself, and he's a very good like in the middle, like, hey, you're okay, or hey, bring it down a notch, we still got work to do. And so it's playing next to Marcus is awesome.
Yeah. What about Brody Grebe when he's attacking you in practice?
That dude has been giving me issues since I've been here. He is such a good football player.
Yeah, what makes him so good?
He's explosive, he's quick, he's strong, like you name it, he's got it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's been fun to watch him play, and there's a few more games left in the regular season, including this game against UC Davis coming up. You know, this is a UC Davis team in the trenches. They held Montana just 77 yards rushing last week. What are some of their skills, and what do you guys have to do to win that battle there?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, they're a good defense, and they have a real good defensive line. They're big and they're strong, and that's always going to cause you problems as a defensive line. But I think if we just do what we do and we play fast and physical, we'll be just fine.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So that kickoff is 6 o'clock Mountain Time, 5 o'clock Pacific, but 6 o'clock Mountain Time next week. On Saturday, we'll be on the air for that at 5 o'clock Mountain Time. Titan, appreciate the time and the insight today, man, and excited to watch you out there.
Thank you.
All right. Titan Flashman, we're taking a break. This is Cat Chat, presented by Learfield.
Town & Country Foods is a proud supporter of Bobcat Athletics. As a locally owned company, we believe the benefit of buying local helps support the local economies in southwest Montana. Our stores offer great selections of items you need every day, including organics, specialty foods, fresh meats and produce, along with incredible selections from our bakery and deli departments. Town & Country Foods is 100% employee owned and serves southwest Montana with 8 locations. Visit your local Town & Country Foods today. Go Cats!
It's the season of home improvement, and Williams Plumbing will help you tackle the big stuff. Are old roots clogging your sewer line? Williams has the tools to fix it. Have you checked your septic system lately? We have the knowledge and experience to maintain or repair it. Looking to install a yard hydrant? We'll do it promptly and professionally. Don't sweat the big stuff. Call Williams Plumbing today.
Ambient Air Solutions wants to take a moment to show our gratitude and to say thank you. Thank you to our frontline workers. Thank you to our doctors, nurses, and EMTs. Thank you to all the volunteers. And thank you to the Gallatin County community. Ambient Air Solutions is so grateful for your support for over 12 years. We are so blessed to live in such a beautiful place. Ambient Air Solutions is here for all your heating and cooling needs. Call us at 406-577-1818 to schedule your service today. Ambient Air Solutions, simplifying heating and cooling.
When a power line has fallen down, it can be downright dangerous and even deadly. That's because downed lines can still energize the ground and objects around them. To help keep you and others safe, Northwestern Energy says stay at least 35 feet or the length of a semi-truck away from a downed power line and anything the line is touching. You should always assume the line is live, and if you see a downed line, immediately call 911 and warn others. Northwestern Energy, delivering a bright future.
Hi, former Bobcat Big Lou Salcedo from Wrestler Chevrolet here. Our team proudly supports MSU football both on the field and on the road. Serving the Bobcat community since 1999, we've got what you need. From the powerful heavy-duty Silverado to the top-of-the-line high country Suburban. Visit our showroom or check us out online at WrestlerChevy.com. Together, let's drive a Wrestler Chevrolet. Community born, community driven. We'll meet you at the tailgate.
Revelry is your neighborhood eatery, here to serve a wholesome and savory palate that celebrates Montana roots with fresh, locally sourced ingredients. We revel in a natural and energetic habitat that livens any day. We serve Bozeman's best pizzas, sandwiches, pastas, and salads in a comfortable environment with 2 amazing patios. We love hosting Bobcats old and new. Check us out at 24 North Tracy or online at revelrymt.com. Go Cats, go!
We are back live at Buffalo Wild Wings one final time today, and if you want to do more this game day than cheering for the best team of the Big Sky, your game day purchase from the MSU bookstore goes directly to lowering the cost of course materials for all Montana State students. Support students on and off the field by shopping the MSU bookstore on campus at Bobcat Stadium on game days and online at msubookstore.org. I'm Keaton Gillogly alongside head coach Brent Vigen as we look ahead to this next game against UC Davis, presented by Vance Thompson Vision. Both teams are 6-0. Whoever wins this game will be the Big Sky champ this year. And, Coach, it's going to be a phenomenal game this week. Very excited about it. The preseason defensive player of the year in Brody Grebe, preseason offensive player in Lan Larison, 2 veteran quarterbacks in this game. And ultimately, hearing Simeon Woodard talk about it, sounds like this is going to be a really disciplined game this week against the Aggies. Yeah, it has to be. They do a lot. They run it well enough, and they obviously throw it quite a bit. We need to be on our keys on defense. We need to be where we're supposed to be, trust our teammates, all those things that, by and large, this season we've done. And then, be able to tackle some really good offensive players led by Larison. On the defensive side, too, they performed pretty well this week over in Missoula. It seems like they've continued to improve over the course of the season on the defensive side. No question, yeah. And really, you look at the conference season, they've done quite well week in, week out of really limiting the run game. I think they're 118 a game for the season, so that in itself is good, 3.6 a carry. Something's got to give in that run game. We're averaging twice that. We need to be able to run it. We need to be able to control it, but we need to be able to make plays in the passing game as well. So, whatever team can control line of scrimmage, limit the mistakes, certainly limit the turnovers. It's going to be all those cliches that'll play out 5 o'clock Pacific on Saturday night. Yeah, it's going to be fun. How have you kind of had the message to your team? I've heard Coach Plow on their side talk about, we got to prepare like we've never prepared before. But how are you talking to your team about just staying focused this week? Well, we're just, what's gotten us here is consistency and going through the same process every week. Now, there's no question we can continue to try to do that better. I think that's just where we're at. Lean on what's gotten us here. Lean on the preparation each week that's allowed us to play well on Saturdays. And obviously striving for continued improvement. And ideally that can, again, play out between the white lines on Saturday. All right, looking forward to it. Just stay consistent. Just do it a little bit better this week against UC Davis for a Big Sky Championship. All right, that'll wrap it up. We'll be on the air at 5 o'clock Mountain Time for the 6 o'clock Mountain Time kickoff at UC Davis. All right, Trevor Nominuk's been our producer back in the studios today. Thank you to Simeon Woodard and Titan Flashman for joining us on the show today. For head coach Brent Vigen, this is Keaton Gillogly saying so long, and we'll talk to you next week for our final Cat Chat of the year. This has been Cat Chat presented by Learfield.
You've been listening to Cat Chat with head football coach Brent Vigen. Brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings, the official home of Cat Chat, every Wednesday night at 6:30. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation of the Bobcats Sports Network.